good evening. It is approximately 8 o'clock evening PM time here on the Eastern Standard Time Zone. I am in sunny South Florida, which was not so sunny today. If you guys are following me, I am signing into chat right now, so you guys can come hang out and chat with me. I did a hour and a half live show this morning on my Plastic Addictions Anonymous Facebook group, and I figured I'd chime in here and say hi to everybody in here. Anyway, I hope everybody's having a great week and has had their week go good. Tomorrow, thank God it's Friday. TGIF, everybody. I will be doing a live show in the morning again at Plastic Addictions on YouTube, or I'm sorry, on Facebook. So I'm just letting everybody know I'm on. I really wish I could figure out how to turn it on in the OBS here, but I don't know how to, so I will figure that out eventually as well. Let me broaden this a little bit, guys. Sorry about moving stuff around on your screen, but I want you guys to see that a little better, especially if you're on the phone and stuff. Anyways, I have my new microphone here. I'm hoping it sounds a little bit clearer and a little bit better. Oops, excuse me for squeezing the mic. I just realized to squeeze it. This is an update on the AMT Kenworth Challenge Transit Mixer. It's a 125 kit. We've been building live here on my channel. I have also been doing live on Facebook. So what we have is we have the chassis, the rear end, the front end, the the auxiliary transmission, and all the drive shafts in. The front end in, the engine in, everything connected up with the drive shafts. We have the interior just sitting here mocked up, but I did install the, if you look right here on this side, I did install the battery box, which eventually I'm going to have a little piece of chain hanging down, and it should open, which is what I'm trying to do here. I'm trying to open it because it is kind of tight, but that's why I need a chain. So there you go. I'll have the battery sitting in here, and the top of the battery will be green, and the bottom of it will be white to represent an interstate battery, which is one of the companies here in Florida that they use down here. So I will be doing that. That's our next step. So that goes into there. There is the, I forget the name of that thing because it's such a weird name. Check this name out, guys. The name of that little barrel is Lumber Finder. The Lumber Finder. So there's my little battery box installation. It goes right up underneath the cab. As you see, everything sits right into place and forms down right just perfectly on it. So praying that everything just keeps going as smooth as it is right here like this, so that I can show you guys a nice clean build and not have to manufacture something that doesn't look right. As you can see, the battery box goes right up underneath the door. I don't know if you can see the door frame or not, but the battery box ends just beyond the door frame there and goes all the way back to here where the stacks are going to be. So we will be having a very, very pretty little build here. It seems to be coming together very well, and everything seems to be lining up. I am doing a live show for about another half an hour. My wife is not home yet, so I have time to just jump in here. I would like to put the tanks and stuff in as well now. So it's showing me that the tanks are going right here. Oops. Which means that there's got to be holes right here somewhere, which I need to get my little light and find them. I might have to go run and grab batteries, though. I was thinking about that earlier. Nope, it should be okay. Alright, so there shows that there's holes there and there, but I do not think that these line up there and there, to be frankly honest with you. They line up a different spot than they're showing me here. And I do not see a hole there whatsoever. So how do they expect me to get to that hole and to that hole? Oh, wait, no, I'm wrong. That's me. I'm wrong. Supposedly it goes way up here. How the heck can that be? Excuse me, how the heck can that be? So I'm going to have to move it back some because they're saying that it goes the way the chassis is. And again, that could be me misplacing something or the parts being misplaced, but I've been putting everything right where it goes. I'm going to need to put it in here as opposed to over there. So I'm sure the other side will line right up because of it doesn't have the battery box. So let's see. Does it have the two holes? Yep, it shows. Oh, there is a hole over there. Okay, I didn't see this one. So it shows a hole there, which is where this would go. These would go like right in here is where I'm going to have to put them. That one goes there, and that one goes there, and that's the way that'll look on that side when I get that side going. All right, so there should be a hole over there as well, so it seems. If not, I will put one. Oops, excuse me. But there is not a hole. This is showing that it's going up forward, so I am going to put a hole because it does not look like anything goes behind this. Okay, so I'm going to put a hole right in there. So I'm going to mark it with that. There we go. So I see where the hole's going to be. So I see the holes up here. So I'm going to use my little ruler here, and I'm going to try to make a straight line as possible and notch it out somehow with the end of my. So wait, so I should be able to do it because it's right on the. I should be able to do it without a problem. move it back without a problem, so it just won't match that other side, which is okay by me. So let's see, I got my light here. So I'm going right in the middle, or right at the end of, right at the same time of this one knot here, the bolt. So if I do one right about there, right about just in between these two rivets, and right above this rivet, I should be okay. So I'm going to go ahead and do that, so you guys excuse the noise you're about to hear, because I'm about to run my drill. Where there is not something, you put something, and if you cannot put it there, you find someplace else to put the dang thing. But I got the battery box and everything right where it's supposed to be, and everything lines up with the hood and the front end and everything, so I'm not worried about it. It's got to be, they just didn't put the hole there where it was supposed to be. So I'm going to do, so how big is it? It's not very big, so let's do something like that. Alright, so let's see if I can do this. I'm not going to mark it out. I know where it's at now. I kind of get the reference. It doesn't have to be perfect, because I'm going to make a little bit of a bigger hole so that it actually is able to. So let's see. It's going to be like right, if I do this right, it's going to be like right on top of that one I said, right in the middle of the chassis. Right? Yeah, right in the middle, right on top of that it should be. Alright, so that should do it. A little bit of pressure, make sure I'm centered. I'm not centered in the chassis. Down a hair. That looks pretty centered right about there. Right about there. Should be pretty centered. So move it around a little so it doesn't slip and run. And let's see if I can. There we go. Oh, there was a hole there. Guess what? There was a hole there. It was just covered over in paint because it jumped right through. Alright, so I didn't make a new hole that was already there. So it goes here. So we're going to do this. It's going to go here, and this one's going to go here, and there it goes. It lined right up perfect. Alright, so that should be perfect. I should still have place freedom to put my mud flat. Alright, so let me go ahead and scratch off the paint off the back side of this and get ready to put this on. I'm hoping that I did it straight and nice and level. I made the hole big enough so I could play with it a little bit. You know, see what I mean? Move it around a little bit to get it a little straighter. Hope I wasn't too far off, and it looks like I'm pretty much right on. So let's go ahead and get this installed for tonight. We'll install the fuel tanks tonight, and tonight I might install the radiator, get the radiator going. I want to finish the interior. I painted the interior also. It is a saddle brown. Get it out. It took me an extra day to get into the interior and get the interior because I had to paint the inside of the body, the cab. But I do have it saddle brown. It's a darker brown than I wanted, but that's okay. I want to detail the engine out with some orange, and I want to detail the steering wheel out with some orange and chrome and stuff like that, and put the chrome in it and stuff. But I wanted you guys to see that. So I can see that there's only part of this that's going to be, so I'm going to kind of like score it so I don't go too far. So I don't want so much of this scraped off. And I'll do the same thing on the chassis. I'll score it like a straight line across, and then I'll pull away from the score mark so that it cuts it out, and then I can just slowly go back and forth with the X-Acto and barely get it. If it goes off, it's barely a little. Just watch how hard you press. You don't want to knock anything off. You don't want to break anything. So just watch how hard you press. I'm going to do it again here. Score it. Pull away. See how it's kind of pulled the white away? Then I can score it again. Pull the white away. Score it again. Pull the white away. That kind of thing. It's going to be behind the chassis. As long as you don't bring it way down here, it's going to be behind these brackets on the chassis, so you're not going to notice it. So it's not really a big deal. And when I turn it over, when all this stuff is done, before I put the cab and stuff on, I'm going to go ahead and turn this over and paint all, then touch up all the stuff that I need to, so that once I flip it back over, it doesn't have to be turned over again. Excuse me. I hope everybody can hear me clearly. I hope I get if you guys come and watch it. I know you guys aren't here right now, but you guys will watch it later. I noticed that about my videos, that they do get watched by my members and my subscribers. If you like this video and you want to follow me and you want to check my next build coming up is going to be the mailbox chopper, number 1 of the 6 series. It's going to be, this is the kit I'm going to be doing. It's the Ed Roth chopper. It's the mailbox chopper. I am going to be doing it in the U.S. mail format, which means it's going to be red, white, and blue, and have U.S. mail decals on it. I'm going to do the body white, I'm going to do the interior blue, and I'm going to do the chassis red. So it's going to have red, white interior, and blue interior, and a white outside. So it's red, white, and blue. That's the way I'm going to do it. So you guys stop in for that. I'm also going to be doing the F8 from Airfix. That'll be another build. You can see my other one down here, my F1 that I did here online as well. That's pretty much done. I am working on the AMT again, Kenworth Challenge. So far so good. Everything's looking really sharp and really good on it. Everything's going together on it. I do see that I need to touch up a few things, so I will be doing that. Alright, I got that ready, and I got to touch up my chrome. My chrome's got some little from putting it together. So I want to take my knife, and I just want to go to my hole that I made, which was already there, which I thought wasn't, and I want to make sure it's open a little bit more. Same thing with the one up front. I want to open a little bit more so I can smooth it around, and then I'm just going to score straight up and down, and then I'm going to take the side of my knife, and I'm just going to go back and forth across the score a little bit. I just want to try to get some of that paint off where it's going to go, like right here in the between from the hole up. So I'm going to score it a couple times, and I'm going to try to get it to just not make too much paint come off. You know what? I got a better way to do it. I've got this. Let me use this. This is a little. You guys can make these little tools and stuff out of. You guys can make these little tools and stuff out of fingernail files. So that's what I made this out of. So I'm just going to score it a little bit here to get some of the paint off. Doesn't have to be all of it, but it does have to have some plastic showing so that you can get it to grab. So I'm going to do that, and like I said, I'm going to touch all this stuff up before I'm done. So, excuse me, you won't see it. So there, I got a little bit of white paint coming out there. There's something rattling. Oh, it's the battery in the battery box. All right, so now I'm gonna test fit again. Make sure it's right where I want it. Make sure the lines are going to give me what I want. And the angle is. Let me see if it's at an angle or if it's up. I need to pull it up just a hair. Turn it. So there we go. So you see, if I do that, it straightens it right back out, and it's perfectly level. All right, so we're going to do that. And I'm going to go put a little glue here. Just a dab and spread it around. It looks like there might be some kind of a bracket down here. Oh no, you know what goes down here? The air pump. Or the air lines that goes down here. Yep, it does. The tank step would hook up down here as well. So I don't know what goes up behind it. And this is the side that gets the barrier, and I painted the barrier black. So when it goes up on here like this, you're going to see that. Like so. So that'll be pretty cool. It should look pretty good. Alright, so I didn't put any glue on the chassis, did I? Just a jab of glue on the chassis too, in the holes, to hold it in place. One there, and one there. Okay. And I put my lid back in put my poker back in my paint if I can find, or my glue if I can find it. Alright, there we go. Alright, so again, this is going to be a little short video. It's not going to be the biggest video in the world, but I do want you guys to check it out. Did want you guys to see what we were actually working on Facebook. I'm doing these build also. I'm doing dual. I was doing dual, but the Facebook wasn't coming out so good. So I am, because I was using my phone, and I think Facebook just changed the sound too much, or my phone wasn't quite giving me enough volume for sound, so it sounded like I was in another room. But I got me a new mic here, and I'm hoping that it's helping us with the show, and everybody can hear me very well. I'm going to go ahead and put, got a little ant. I'm going to go ahead and put the shield on top of the, when it's dry, I'm just going to go ahead and put the shield here, like it's supposed to be, lean it forward a little bit, and that kind of covers up also, the part that I scratched off. Whoops, oh man, I didn't support it, my bad. Bad builder. Alright, let's get that back into place, make sure it pops into those holes. Okay, it's into those holes. I need to figure out something to hold it into place. I usually use like a paint bottle. I think it's going to be tall enough for a paint bottle. I had one. I must put it away. Anyways, alright, so we're going to do, it's too tall for a paint bottle. What did I use earlier? Oh, you know what I used earlier? I used one of these earlier. And this looks like it's going to be even lower than that. So we should be good to do this. So, yeah, that's even too tall. So I don't know. I'm probably just going to hold it here for a minute. And talk. Anyway, so we're working on the fuel tanks of the AMT Kenworth Challenge. Welcome, guys, everybody. Thanks for coming. Thanks for watching. Like, subscribe, share, hit that bell, get those notifications. Check us out on Facebook on Plastic Addictions Anonymous and the Model Asylum. You can also check us out on TikTok for Plastic Addictions, and you can check us out on Instagram on Plastic Addictions Anonymous. Plastic_Addictions_Anonymous. Plastic Addictions Anonymous, separated with an underscore each word. So there's 2 underscores. Plastic_subscriptions_anonymous. That's how it is on TikTok. Or I'm sorry, on Insta. Alright, so we're doing the fuel tanks right now. My next one will be the other side. I'll do the fuel tanks, so we get the fuel tanks will be on. Then I'm going to probably sign off and build the tanks and get them ready, get the step and stuff on. This is going to be a pain because and I still have to put the cab forwards mounts on. I have 2 of those to put on. They go right here on the belly band, right here. So I got to do that still. So be ready for that. That's coming up in another video. Right now I'm just trying to make sure that I'm pushing properly on it to give it what it needs to be staying on while it's drying. Alright, there we go. It looks like that's going to be pretty good. It looks like these holes here are going to run up perfectly fine with this. Looks like it anyways. Oh wait, here. So it's here. So they do go back here. So see, I just put a new hole in it where the one got paint over it. So that does go there. Alright, so I can scrape some of this off now. So again, just going to score a line. I'm probably going to go about 1/4 of an inch down from the tip, from the titty, the little nipple thingy doohickey. The pin. Let's do it the right way. The pin, and there's going to the holes on the other side. The pins are going. So I'm just going to put some glue here, and then scratch the chassis a little bit to get it to bond better, and hold better. Mentioning things. I'm going to a Tampa show, model show, and the model show is in December the 4th in Tampa. So I'm going to be meeting Michael Mline there. He's one of our members for a long time. He's an awesome dude. And hoping to enter a couple of models in the contest. I'm not sure. I'm not expecting anything. I'm not expecting to win, guys. I'm not looking at, it'd be nice if I got something, but if not, it's the fun. It's my first one. It's a learning experience. I then can see how other people build live. I can look at them live. I don't look at pictures of them. I can see how they do things and how they format it for shows. Because I'm sure people don't just take their everyday builds that they do. They pick specific kits that are really, really good and really, really well done, and then they take those. So I'm pretty sure that's what they do. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to pick my best ones, and I'm definitely going to enter in the 40s thing though, just so you know. Alright, so the other side on number 10 is cab accessories as well, just so you know. I did not see these though. But it looks like, yeah, that's it. So we're doing number 10 next is cab accessories and cab to chassis. So we'll be hooking up the cab to the chassis next and hooking up all the lines and stuff. And the air cleaners and stuff like that, the mirrors, things like that. Also down here it shows on number 11 is the basic mixer. So we got one more thing to do after we do the basic chassis. We're going to go into the cab accessories and cab chassis, cab installation. And then we'll be working on the mixer for the next 1, 2, 3, 4 different, more than that I'm sure. No, 4 different instruction sets. So we are on number 9. Number 10 is probably going to be this coming week. 10 and 11. I'll start the mixer portion probably next week. Once I get all the chassis stuff done on all of the chassis assembly. Also shows back here to put the taillights bracket in. I have that here as well. It's here somewhere as well. There's the stoplight bracket. There's the 2 mounts for the cab. There's the fender. There's the lights. There's the hose. There's a vacuum tube container here. There's the other side there's the top of the radiator. That's going to be up in here, hooking the hose up to it. There's the air cleaner connector tube. There's the 2 exhaust extensions. Everything is out. There's the water line that goes to the radiator. So everything else, there's the steps that go on the fuel tanks once I'm done with those. So I've got everything out to do number 9 all the way across the board. I have already got the T-tree in. I just have to put the stands on and the tanks in and the bumper on. They also have fog lights and chrome clears to go in the bumper. So I'm going to be doing the radiator, and all these things are going to be done prior to getting into our next proportion, which is going to be 10. So when you see this all cleared off and not here anymore, and it's all on here, we're going on to number 10. Until that's done, which could be today, tomorrow, the next day, I don't know. I talk too much while I do these videos. I used to just build, but now I talk because I want you guys to be entertained. If you guys got any questions, feel free to ask me. If you want to know any information. Oh, I forgot to do, see? I forgot to do it. I got to figure out where to hold this too, because I did put the battery box on earlier today, and now I got the, see? I put the battery box on earlier today, so I'm going to have to put this on its side like so. and see where this is going to hook up for sure. So this is going to hook up here for sure. So it goes there. You can see the separation. It goes this one and that one. So that's where that goes. That tank is definitely a little lower, so I got to raise that tank up. I guess it doesn't matter if that is perfectly on there, so I'm not going to screw with it. I am going to again score this side. I'm not going to show you guys this time because I'm just going to score it and put it top and bottom just a little bit. I don't want to keep spinning around, so I'm leaning it on the side. Oh, that one worked good. This one works a lot better than that. So I'm just kind of scoring the paint in lines underneath and above the hole that it's going on, so that it grabs this plastic as opposed to just grabbing paint. This one's being a pain in the rumpus, this one. So I'm pretty sure it goes under that one. And that's not the one that was settling on. So these guys got these all screwed up, because this is going on this one here. Where is it? So it's going on this one here and that one there, which does not leave two holes for that. Now if I put it there, it does. So we'll have to check that out. I'll have to figure that out. But this goes here and here. So it appears goes here and here, and that does pretty much. Actually, no, it doesn't. So it should go here and here is where it should be going, and that would put it right across from. So this hole is filled with paint as well. So let me get the drill and put that hole in there. So I want to make sure that that's right above, right across from that one. So I'm going to use the thing around right straight across. Line it up, turn it to the side, make sure that I have it in the center, drop to the bottom so I know right about there's where I need it to be. And then I'm just going to drill a hole, drill a hole there, like that. Here we go, we should get it now. I should do it. Alright, now, it should go right on that hole and right on that hole. Yep, we're in. Alrighty then, so we're going to do that there and that there. So that's how we're going to do it. Should have let this dry. Should have done this earlier because I got to lean them a little bit and I didn't make them perfectly straight when I put them on like a dum-dum. Alright, so we're putting this here and here. So we should be good to go. There we go. Should be good to go here, on that one, and that one. So we should be good to go in 1, 2, 3. Now there's a little bit of a problem getting it onto this one, so I'm going to trim this. There we go. I can sand that down as well. So that's something to hold to. Oh man, I just knocked the other filter off. Damn it. Excuse me, dang it. Alright, so we're ready to roll. So let me get this fuel tank over here back on like a dum-dum. I knocked it down. Bummer. Oh, bummer, oh, doodles. Alright, so that got right back into where it was supposed to go, which is perfect. Okay, so let's put that back over there. So, alright, so let's get some glue on this and get this into place now. So this might be one to come off. Let's get it into place before it does. Oh, come on. Butterfingers. So let's move it around kind of a bit. So we're going to let us move around quite a bit. So we're going to put it right where it's supposed to go. Right there, just like that. And it goes over here on this one. Come on a little bracket. There we go. Finally. Right now. Looks like the brackets are up. They're going to be up there strong, but the tank is not. So we're going to put the brackets on, then we'll put the tank back on there. So, because that's what's holding. I should have done the brackets first, no matter how you look at it, and just stick the tank on there. And set the tank down on it. Because that's what the problem is. The brackets. The tank is heavy. Oops. Yeah, peanut butter bar. I gotta support this, guys, and I'm gonna have to stop for the night. I hope everybody has an awesome evening. I am really having problems tonight. I shouldn't have started this because I'm not feeling the greatest, but I did anyways because I wanted to give you guys a little bit of a hey, 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 hello, and because I hadn't done that yet today. But I am having a bit of problems building, so I'm probably going to stop because I don't want to mess this up on you guys. I want you guys to see it built properly and good. So that's going to go there, and it's going to be basically where it's supposed to be. So, it's going to be where it's supposed to be. So we bring that perfectly fine. We bring this up, and this one up a bit. Squeeze them into place on the chassis, and hopefully they freaking stay there. Do I have that to cover it? Nope. That's too big. How about this? That's too big. Oh, you know what's not too big? I know it's not too big. These. Yeah, that'll work. So now I just take the back of a couple of my sanding discs. I took the sanding disc off this side so I could slide it underneath parts to get them to stay in place. There we go, just like that. Just like that. We're going to set it down on that, just like that. And that's how we're going to leave it, just like that. Alright, just leave it just like that. Soon I'll be able to put this tank on, and we'll have the tanks done and that battery box done. Let me put the battery box cover back on. So this is going to go over here. Get this off underneath. Again, this goes on that. Oops, dang it. Again, this goes on that side over there. So we'll be putting that on later. Alright. Now, maybe later on tonight I'll do a little work on my interior and put the windows in so that tomorrow we can put the cab and everything on and have it all set up. I think that's what I want to do. But when I put the cab and the hood on, everything lines up perfectly. I mean, everything should be perfect. Now I gotta bring it over to this side a little bit because it's not centered, but there we go. It's even got the tires sticking out the same distance on both sides of the truck. So that's basically the truck where it's going to sit. It's a little off because it's just sitting there mocked up, but that's basically where it's going to sit. You know, I'll put the interior back in it, set it off to the side, and put it up here for everybody to check out. But that's it. Once I get this tank dry, these tanks drying on, and I know they're not going to come off, I will put the chest or put the body and the body and the hood back on from there. So, you guys hang out and wait for that because this is going to go on next. We're going to be doing that because this is supposed to have already been done. So, and I still got the, as you see, I still got the CB, and I got the CB antennas for the outside. Got those all sitting there. I got parts scattered all over the place, but they're all in this area. Nobody really gets onto this table but me. So, again, I'm going to slide the battery box lid in. It goes right up underneath the rear cab brace perfectly, as you can see, just like that. Okay? Oh, I can touch that up real quick is what I can do. Let's see what I got here. No, I got my black over here. I thought I did anyway. Maybe I didn't. There it is. I got my black right here. So I'm just going to touch that little black spot up real quick. Oh my goodness. What's the black that I always use? That one shouldn't be no problem opening. That'll be that one then. Time to bring the big boys out. Alright. Just going to touch up a couple of spots here while I can, while I'm waiting to do other things. So just hang in there, bear with me. Looks like my black paint's dry. Yep. No, I got some off the bottom. No, it's dry. Might be enough to... No, it's too dry. It's garbage. Out of here. Time to clean my brush. Got enough in there? Yep. Alright, guys, I'm going to sign off for tonight. I appreciate you coming and hanging and checking out my videos. Please feel free to like, subscribe, follow, share. Come check us out on Facebook, Plastic Addictions Anonymous, and the Model Asylum. On YouTube here at Plastic Addictions Anonymous. Thanks for coming in. Thanks for checking out my vids. I appreciate y'all. We're on TikTok under Plastic Addictions. We are on Plastic Addictions. We are on Instagram under plastic underscore addictions underscore anonymous. Come check us out there. Um, that's about it, guys. I hope everybody has a wonderful evening. I'm gonna quit handling this so this tank dries and these brackets dry, because all I'm doing is making a mess of things. So I'm gonna go ahead and sign off. You guys see that where we're at in the progress. Is what I wanted you to see. We have come a long way since we started with the unboxing. Excuse me. And I love everybody. I appreciate everybody, and I thank everybody for coming and hanging with me. Please feel free, like I said, to share. Let people know that I do builds live for fun. I'm not looking to make anything. I'm not looking to do anything. This is my fun channel. I love this channel. I love my Plastic Addictions Anonymous, and I love my plastic addiction. So I hope everybody comes and visits and hangs with me, and just builds and has fun. If you're not coming out to build and have fun, you're doing the hobby wrong if you're not having fun doing it. Alright, so there we go. Alright, bye all. Everybody have a great night. Oh, hey, Mark. Yes, I agree with you, sir. It is very nice that they rear-popping these older kits. I'm fully in agreement with you. I really am. Some of the things, like I said, in any AMT, you might need a drill around. You might need a little bit of a saw around. That's just because it's an old mold, some of them have been really gratefully retooled. How you doing, brother? Thanks for coming out and checking me out. Nah, I didn't say cancel anything. Alright. I put the tanks on. I don't know if you were here a minute ago. I'm sorry I hadn't looked up for a couple of minutes. I was busy trying to fight the tanks on. While I was off and I was at Plastic Addictions, we did the chassis, and I've made some videos here of that as well. We did the engine. We got the engine in. We got the central transmission in for the drivetrains. We put the battery box on today. I've got the air lines on for the air stacks, exhaust stacks. I still have to do the intake on the cab when the intakes go on each side of the cab here. They go in here, each side of the cab. So when I get the cab on, which is going to be in the next day or two, I will be putting the stacks in and putting the air, finishing that kind of stuff off. Prior to that, I wanted to get the tanks on and number 9 done, because on number 10 is the final stuff assembling the cab and chassis and accessories and stuff. So I want to do that, and then we go directly to the mixer portion of the build. So about ready to try it off. I don't want to keep messing with it because I had problems with this side over here. As you can see that I have it braced up right now if I keep playing with it. I'm going to go ahead and build the radiator though, that kind of stuff that I can build. I can build the air tanks, that kind of stuff. I'm missing a piece of air tank though, so I don't know where it is. Okay. So I have all the parts out to finish number 9. All the parts are right here, and I have to paint the battery. It's going to be interstate with a green top and a white bottom. So that's really all I have to put together before I can put it on the unit. So, but I have to get the tanks on before I do that. So that'll be probably tomorrow. I'll be able to finish it off, and then, like I said, probably first of the week I'll start on the chassis, the final chassis assembly or final cab assembly and accessories, and then on Tuesday, Wednesday, I'll probably start working on the mixer. I'm trying not to do this too fast. One of my buddies calls me Speedy Gonzalez on building, but I'm really not that fast at building. I don't build that fast. It's just that I'm at home a lot because I'm disabled. So I know I don't look disabled, but trust me, I've got some issues that you guys don't want. Anyway, so Mark, is there any questions you got for me there, brother? I see you there. You know what we're building around. I'm sure you can see the pictures. Is my voice clear for you? Is my voice clear enough? Is the video clear enough? I don't know, because I'm not looking at it right now. I'm just running it through live YouTube, and then when it posts, I go look at it, or I edit it before I post it sometimes. But if you'd let me know how it's coming out, that'd be great. There's one tank. Again, I'm putting these tanks together. I'm going to have to touch them up once I put them on because of the seam lines and stuff. Whoops! Because of the seam lines and stuff. So, again, if I don't talk to you specifically right to you, that doesn't mean I'm not talking to you. It just means that I'm focusing on what I'm doing. As you see, my hands are shaking so bad that I'm having problems getting parts to put together, stay together. So I may end up cutting it out here soon. We shall see. Alright, so that takes care of that. I pressed too hard. I'm going to get glue on that. Don't know if I have glue on. Let me get my light over here again. Oh, there's no glue on it. That's why it's not staying together. So, Mark, are you in any Facebook groups? Or just here on YouTube, just checking me out on YouTube? Alright, there we go. Now I definitely got glue on it. It definitely went together. Alright, so I'm going to set this after I make sure it's level and square, or rounded. The seams are right, should I say. I'm going to set it down. My eyes are so tired tonight. Alright, I'm going to sand everything down and repaint it and touch it up tonight or tomorrow. Alright, so there's that one. So now we're going to do this one. Once the tanks are all built and everything, I'm probably going to, and the radiator's built, I'm probably going to sign off. Just due to the fact that it's 8:30 here. I've been off about half an hour. I promised everybody I'd at least poke my head in for half an hour here and there. I will be doing this weekend. I'm going to be doing Facebook Live on Monday through Friday in the mornings, and probably YouTube in the evenings every other day, putting the videos out and editing them and stuff. So guys, keep an eye out. Like I said, push that notification so you know when I'm on, and you get notifications that I posted a new vid. My next builds are going to be the first trike in the trike series, the 6 trike series of NPC's trike series, the mailbox trike. I will bring down. I don't think I've done it in a while. The mic's not the best. Yeah, I know. I need a new mic. Somebody told me I need to get one of those lapel ones so I could put it on my collar. So I haven't done that yet, but I will be doing that eventually. So bear with me, brother. I'm trying. I'm here at least, though. I'm trying. So like I said, we're going to build the radiator because it goes in here like this. It seems to be, you know, all I'm going to be able to do is do that. And also, I'm not quite so sure if it's just the mic or if it's the video, the mic on the video camera. Could be very well. Let me try this. Is that better? Are you still seeing me? So I don't know if turning all that stuff off made it better. Did turning all that stuff off make it better? Oh, cool. You're building the kit. Okay, cool. I'm glad. Cool. Cool. That's nice to know that somebody else is building the kit. That's cool. I'll be getting a low boy and the bulldozer set from AMT. Also, would be one of the builds I do. If you want to follow along and build together, you can get that next. And it'll be a month or so before I get it, because I'm trying to get some 40 sedans and stuff, 1940s builds going for the show. So are you on my plastic addictions? On our plastic addictions? We've got so many members. I can't remember everybody's name, brother. No disrespect to you, man. Honestly. So have you started the kit, by the way? Guess that's a question I should be asking. Have you started it? Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and put the radiator together. And then I'll take it over the spray booth in the morning and finish painting it. I just wanted to leave the white here. It's been going together pretty good though, just so you know. The colors I'm choosing are basic colors of what's on the box. I did change the interior colors, so I guess I can't really call it box art. Box top build. But I do try to get most of my builds close as possible to box art, but I get about 80% there, and all of a sudden, it's not box art anymore. Oh, it's just me, babe. It's not anything anybody can do. It's just me. But I do have a tendency to do that. Okay, so that's better. Why didn't I do that in the first place? Wait a minute. It shows that goes down, and it shows that goes up. So that goes down, that goes there, and this goes in here. Okay, so now we got it. There we go. Alright, so the radiator's built. Let it dry. Seems to be all lined up. Give it a little squeeze. So the radiator's built, and I have everything set up perfectly fine for the radiator to go in, as you can see. So that's why I'm not understanding why the issue with the tanks, because when I went to put the tanks in, they're showing that the tanks go forward like right to here. That's what they're showing. But it won't go forward because they put the battery box on this side here. And I'm looking at the instructions, and yeah, the battery box goes on the other side. So I got mixed up for a second. And I don't understand, because they're showing that it goes right up straight forward, but it's not giving you exactly what hole to put in it, because it doesn't show the driver's side or passenger side. It only shows the driver's side on this one. When I turn it around, I think I'm doing that wrong. Driver's side, yeah, it doesn't show the passenger side, right? So I'm turning it around. Oh my goodness, you know what I think I did? Oh my goodness. Daddy-o did a bad-o. Oh my goodness gracious, have mercy on my old soul. But it's still not going to go in right. Maybe it will. I did the boo-boo. Hey dude, don't do what I just did this morning. Man, I got to rectify that today. I put the battery, I wasn't looking. I was talking too much. I had the truck turned on the wrong side. I'm a dummy. That was my fault. Battery box goes on the opposite side, brother. I put it on the passenger side. It goes on the driver's. It goes on the. I put it on the driver's side, right? No, it goes on that side. Yep, it goes over there. So, needless to say, I goofballed because it goes on the driver's side, not on the passenger side. I even said that in another video that I got to remember that, and I didn't remember. So it goes right into place right there. That's really where it goes, not on this side. That was my bad. So, but no matter what, the tanks were not going to go up into here the way they had them, the way they're showing them. There's too much of a split. Yeah, there's too much of a split there. I just pulled that off for no reason. Because the pipes are too close to the fuel tank at that point. There's no way I can get this into here without... The fuel tank sticks over, see what I'm saying? The fuel tank sticks over the lip, so it won't go into here. Even if I move this forward, which moves the whole cab forward, I can't do that. So it does not fit into here properly. Because there's no hole. The hole's on this side. If you can see it, I don't know if you can see it or not. Here. The hole, this is the rear cab mount that I'm putting my finger on right here. That's the rear cab mount, this three little dots. It's actually a piece of diamond plate. But there's line here, and there's a line here. Right here next to this one. If you move this forward, this can go in here. I can put the bracket in there, but it won't go in because the bracket has to be at the end of the tank, and it's not. It's in like almost the center of the tank. It's an inch in. So I can't put the tank in the place that they're showing. I had to move the tank back, just so you know. So I chose to move both tanks back on both sides. So that's what I've done there, just so you know. And that's what threw me, because I moved the tanks to the other side, a little further back. So I have to rectify that. I have to put the battery box, because I'm wrong. The battery box goes on the driver's side, not the passenger side. I had the truck turned around and didn't watch. So I'm going to go ahead and put some glue on it and put the battery box into place here. Because look, it actually goes right into place now. See, it goes right there. So let me go ahead and put some glue on this and get that done and get that stable too. I'm going to get this braced up on this side, and so I don't have to worry about it. So there you go. That's braced up. I can move it around a little bit, so it's cool. Let me get this battery box hooked back up. And it's showing that it goes underneath, correct? Yeah, it goes underneath, so it's just like it was on this side. That was a big mistake on my fault. But again, I've been talking and building at the same time, so that's kind of hard to do sometimes. You don't pay attention to certain things. Alright, so we're going to go ahead and put this where it goes now. I'll put the other tank on tomorrow. Now make sure that the top of the battery box, the bottom of it's got clips on it. Okay? So make sure the bottom of the back side of the battery box, though, is up against the wall, but you got to make sure it's down a little bit below the rear cab mount. Otherwise, you won't be able to get the lid on. So let me get the lid back on, and then we'll brace it up. And that's how I kind of judge. Because see, the lip of the battery box goes right up underneath the rear brace of the cab. So especially if you put it up where they want you to. They want you to put it right there. The tabs are at the bottom of the... And I got to move it back a little so that it stays on. There we go. Alright, so it fit right into place once I got it into where it needed to go. So I need to brace this up as well. And I know this will work on that. Where's my... I'm trying to find the right thing. to use that'll hold it up. Oh, that'll do. I'll lay that on its side, and I'll put this underneath it. So how big is that? Is it going to work? Is that going to be good enough? No. Alright, so this should be good enough. I'll use this part, because it's big enough. Yeah, there we go. Alright, so that's going to stay just like that. Make sure it's level with the top of the... I got to make sure it's level with the top of the chassis so that the box sits on right and everything sits on it right. The box itself sits in a little bit, so it doesn't sit right at the edge. It sits just like right at the top, just below the top edge of it is where it's going to have to sit with the battery box on it, right just below the top edge of the chassis. So that's basically where that's going to have to sit, just so everybody knows. I'm going to leave that just like that for the moment, because I need it to be put up a little bit. There we go. Alright, so we should be good to go here now. So I think we got it covered. I'm going to move this around just a little bit and get everything straightened up. Alright, so that's that. But like I said, if you look at where the fuel tank brackets go, they're showing the fuel tank bracket, and this is in the perfect place because everything lines up. The fenders line up, the hood lines up, everything lines up with what it's supposed to be. If you look at where they want you to put the, I don't know if you can see it because of where I'm at, but here you go. The battery box is end of the battery box is here. Okay, this is the rear mount. Right between this line on the side of the frame and the engine mount is where the front tank strap goes. So if you put that in there, the tank sits, you know, the straps where the brackets are, the straps sit right on these straps, right on your straps. So if I tried to put it in there where it's supposed to go, the strap would make this way up here. And there's no way that's going to go way up there because there's your front end right there. So, and this shows going right here. So then this is where the back of the cab is, and I know the front of the cab is going to run like right in here. So if I put this cab on now, you can see that the battery box is sitting right where it's supposed to be now. It's right up on underneath the cab. So, okay. So I don't know what else to do. It's just the way it was. I had to put the tanks back. And I don't see anything else going on the chassis on this side, on the sides of the frames. So that should be perfectly fine. There should be no problem with it. It does look like they are forward on the unit, though, like it's showing here. If you look, let me show you here on the side, on the box. If you look here at the box, you see that the battery box goes in. It's painted orange. I painted it white, so therefore I changed it there. I painted it black, so therefore I changed it. These tanks don't go all the way up against that pipe where their bracket is. You know, they're showing it right up against there, but I guarantee you that they modified all this in here or put a different hole in here or something when they built it to make this. So I don't know. And on here also, oh, there you go. You see it's in perfect place. See, it's sitting back far enough. It's sitting back. It's going to be sitting back. Yeah, that's right. So once I look at this side of it, now that I'm looking at the side of it here, like here, there's a gap between the stack extension and the actual bracket. Okay, so that's good. So we're good. We're good. We're good. I did paint the chassis, you know, about a week ago or whatever. So it does have black paint on it. So it may be just me not seeing correctly, and I can't, you know, do anything about that. I mean, I got my glasses on. I got a magnifying glass, but that doesn't really change the fact of that things have to be modified a little bit just to get it into place where we want to. I may go ahead and strip this down and gray paint it orange like they have it, but I don't know. I don't know. I kind of like it with the black against the orange. It kind of looks sharp, if you ask me. So that's where that goes. That's going to sit up there perfectly fine. And as you see, it's sitting perfectly straight on the center of it where it's supposed to go. The hood goes in perfectly fine. It may not be centered in the back, you know, side to side, but I got it in there. But there, it goes side to side. There it goes like that. Now it's supposed to come over just a hair. It needs to come over just a hair. Front and back so it's level. So it's square rather. And basically, there you have it, brother. I mean, it's sitting down a little bit. It's going to sit up a little bit more once I get the hood and stuff properly in. So it's sitting perfectly fine. It's going to sit like that. So you have to move the tanks back. That I must say on this. You're going to have to move the tank back. Be ready for that. Unless I did something wrong, which could very well be. Just like with the battery box, I screwed that up, messed that up. But that's all right. That's what makes the fun of the build. You know, you mess something up, you can take it apart, as long as it's not too dried, and you can put it to another place. So, but I moved the tanks back, in generality, to get the space that I needed to put in the straps where they were showing the straps on the tanks. So if you put the straps where they go on the tanks, hang it. Put the straps where they go on the tanks, and then you try to put them on the side, it may not fit. Just a heads up. Okay, so there you go. That's on there now. That's on there now. All right, that's it, guy. I'm done for the night. Step back in tomorrow, either on Facebook or here on YouTube tomorrow evening, and I'll be back on doing some more and show you what I updated on it. I'm going to have the battery painted by then. I'll have the air tubes all cleaned up. I'll probably have the steps in and the bumper in. All in all, it's a fun kit. I love AMT because of their challenge. They do give you a challenge because of, they are an older kit, and the tooling on them isn't the greatest. There was a little bit of flash on the kit when I first opened it up, especially on the cab and stuff. That's just the visor I have glued on there. I've been trying to stick it into place for days, trying to get it to sit into place. I don't know why. I should just glue the sucker into place, and I don't have to worry about it. But anyways, so step back in, but I'm out of here. Yeah, like I said, I have everything. I've followed, as you see, I'm following step by step on instructions. And the cross member goes here for the rear of the cab. Otherwise, the cab wouldn't sit right. It's right where they told me to put it. So I don't understand where the problem came in getting the tank brackets close enough to it, because even here on this side, even on the what is this, the passenger side, I think it is, right? Yeah, even on the passenger side, if I put the bracket right where their hole is and right where their line on the chassis is, it runs directly over top of the side exhaust, over this tube right here, which means the fuel tank, this part of the fuel tank, would be sitting way up here. It makes no sense, but it really doesn't. So I went ahead and moved everything back. As you see, I kind of did them as best I could straight across. So they should look perfectly fine. I've looked at the instructions, and I do not see anything that is going to be stuck on the side of the chassis in those areas that's going to be a bother. So it didn't hurt anything. It just shifted everything back about a half an inch. So just remember that. Everything else also, this motor, this fifth wheel, or not fifth wheel, this barrel, the mixer motor, gives you a problem getting the bracket in. It's too long to go in between the chassis, just so you know. I had to cut that down. So it would not go in the spot into the chassis. I had to trim. I didn't trim. I sanded the edges off. Yeah, I mean, it was so minute. It was just making it bend. And I even sanded the paint off, and that didn't help. So it's the way it was molded. There's a little thickness on each end of it. I think it's just too thick. So I sanded the ends of that off just on this bracket here. As you can see, it's still got a little bit of the bow in it. I don't know if you can see that or not, but it's here. Maybe it's got that little tiny bit of a bow in it. That's from trying to put it into place the first time. And once I realized that was happening, I decided, nah, I ain't doing that. And if you put the forward cab mounts where they're supposed to go, which are like right in here. No, it's supposed to go right in here. I'm sorry, my bad. Forward cab mounts are supposed to go like right in here on top of your belly band. The belly band is only one place you can put the belly band, because it's got a tab top, front, and back. So that's perfectly fine where it's at, and everything lines up. So I don't know what's going on, but I love AMT because of their challenges. And I can show you probably 30 kits that I've built from AMT that I've had to modify pretty much every one of them. Something on every one of them did not fit right. And again, there you go. I got this in and ready to roll. It goes right into place, as you can see. So everything is lined up and everything is perfect. You know what I mean? So I don't know. The things threw me off. So what really threw me off was putting the battery box on the wrong side. Don't make that mistake. Battery box goes on the driver's side. All right, Bubby, have a good night. I appreciate you coming in and hanging out with me and talking to me and chatting. Have a great night, okay? We'll check you later.